What is up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about some new cards here. This is going to be another ReaperCast episode essentially, and there are a lot more cards revealed for Dawn of Majesty. So last time we talked about the Despia archetype, and unfortunately there were quite a few cards there, or the archetype itself, that didn't turn out to be quite as exciting as I thought it would be. So that kind of put my opinions on the lower end for Dawn of Majesty. So with the new cards shown here, hopefully they could actually make it a bit more exciting for Dawn of Majesty, but I guess there's only one way to find out, and that's to actually go over these cards. So the first card we have here is Pendulum Treasure. It is a normal spell card, and you can only activate this card once per turn. Its effect is essentially add one Pendulum monster from your deck to your extra deck face up. It's not bad, it's not particularly amazing either, it just gets your cards to the Pendulum Zone or to your extra deck to prepare yourself for a Pendulum Summon, which, although it's nice, it's not particularly a great card either because it's a +0, so, well, if anything, it's a -1 because you're losing out on one additional card in your hand. I mean, it could be viewed in such a way where it could be an upstart goblin for Pendulum decks. That would be amazing, but even then I don't consider this card to be so overly hyped up to the point where it's worth buying the set itself. Alright, so moving on here, we have some new Chronomoly cards. Chronomoly is an older archetype of course, but we are luckily getting some new support for this, so this will definitely be quite exciting. First off, we have a continuous spell card. It's called Chronomoly Palace Trilithon or Trilithon. You can only use this card's first and second effects once per turn. So first effect, if you control no monsters, all monsters you control are Chronomoly monsters, you could pay 500 life points and special summon one Chronomoly monster from your hand. Not too bad of an effect, definitely really nice. Second effect, if your Chronomoly exceeds monster or number exceeds monster would activate its effects by detaching material, you can send this card to the graveyard instead of one of those materials. I actually really like this card, it's a card that I think Chronomolys definitely need. The next card we have here is Chronomoly Magella Globe, level 4 light machine effect monster, 1500 attack, 300 defense, and first and second effects can only be used once per turn. You can tribute this card and special summon one Chronomoly monster from your deck except itself. Definitely really nice, kind of deck bins in some sort of way by getting this card to the graveyard and then bringing out some new Chronomoly that you might actually need for a particular combo play, so quite amazing. Second effect, if this card is in your graveyard except the turn you're sent there, you can banish one Chronomoly card from your graveyard, accept itself, and add this card to your hand. Definitely very impressive. Overall, I'm actually liking the Chronomoly cards quite a lot. Moving on, we have Chronomoly Akambaro figure. Level 5 Earth Rock effect monster, 1000 attack, 1800 defense, first and second effects can only be used once per turn. So if a Chronomoly monster would be destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can discard this card instead, so definitely really nice, a hand trap that protects your monsters. If this card is in your graveyard, you can pay 1000 life points special summon this card, but return it to your hand during the end phase. You cannot special summon monsters for the turn you activate this effect except for Chronomoly monsters. No big deal because you can activate this anytime, so in a small kind of aspect, it is better than Trick Clown as well. And of course, you just go for an XE summon or a Synchro summon or whatever you actually need to go into. So I definitely really like this card for what it actually does here. The next card we have here is Chronomoly Vimana. It's a light machine exceeds effect monster, rank 5, 2300, attack and 2600 defense, 2 level 5 monsters, so it is generic. First effect, once per turn as a quick effect, you can target one face-up monster on the field and one Chronomoly monster or Xyz monster in your graveyard. The first target gains attack equal to half the second target until the end of this turn. Then attach the second target to this card as material. Not too bad, but not overly amazing, just allows you to get over some big monsters. Second effect, once per turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect as a quick effect, you can detach 2 materials from this card and negate the activation. Not bad at all, I definitely do like that. As an overall, so far 4 of these cards have been just on point. Definitely really good cards. All of them are necessary. I see myself playing all of them if I were to actually build a Chronomoly deck. The final Chronomoly support is called Esperanza Glyph. a normal trap card, you can only activate this card with this card's name once per turn. So during the main phase, you can target one Xyz monster card you control, or in your graveyard, special summon 2 Chronomoly monsters from your hand, deck, and or graveyard that are 1 level higher than that monster card's rank. But their effects are negated, and if you do, immediately after this card resolves, Xyz summon 1 Chronomoly Xyz monster using only those 2 monsters. Very nice because it allows you to also draw in resources from anywhere you actually want to. Absolutely amazing. Very flexible card as well to go from the deck, hand, and or graveyard. And of course allowing you to just quickly go for an Xyz summon, meaning you could potentially do this during the battle phase as well, and you could go for an OTK of some sort. So very amazing. I do love all of these Chronomoly cards. They're definitely quite impressive, and it makes Dawn of Majesty all the more exciting. Of course, it depends on what rarity these cards actually printed out in. If all of these cards are actually just in common, then you guys could just easily just buy singles, and that would be quite amazing indeed. The next card we have here is called Antagonistic Intelligence, Misaya. Definitely very interesting naming here. So it's actually a Cyberse Pendulum monster. A nice mixture of the Vrains era and the Arc 5 era into one particular card itself, so definitely very nice. Level 8 light Cyberse Pendulum effect monster, 2500 attack and 3000 defense, scale 0, pendulum effect, any non-monster card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. Oh my goodness, that's actually quite amazing. I mean, this could destroy quite a few decks out there that depend on just the graveyard. In fact, I already see this card being played as a side deck card. I mean, you can just play this against any deck that relies on the graveyard, and it's all over for them. This is amazing. However, there is a monster effect as well. So the first effect can only be used once per turn. You can reveal this card in your hand, add one other pendulum monster from your hand and one card from your pendulum zone to the extra deck face up. And if you do, special summon this card. Not bad, but it's just an extra resource. Second effect, if another monster is normal or special summon while this card is in the monster zone, activate this effect. Send that monster to the graveyard during the end phase of this turn. Not bad at all. That could actually deal with certain cards that your opponent actually brings out, because you're actually imposing a particular condition onto your opponent's monsters. So this is not a bad card at all. Mainly the pendulum effect is going to be really amazing, but the monster effect, I wouldn't say it's bad either. It's actually pretty decent. So I'm definitely looking forward to this card. If this card is printed out in a secret rare, I would not be surprised. It's actually pretty good. The next card we have here is actually a Do-Re-Mi chord support card, definitely very exciting of course. It's called Grand Do-Re-Mi chord Musici, or Musi. Definitely a very odd way of spelling that out, but I don't know, I mean, maybe I think it's like Muse C, that would be the way to pronounce it, I guess. It's a Link 2 Light Fairy Link Effect monster, 1900 attack, and the links points to the bottom left and bottom right. Not too bad at all. It requires 2 pendulum monsters, which makes sense because your Do-Re-Mi chords are all pendulum monsters of course. And the first and second effects can only be used once per turn. During your main phase, you could add 1 pendulum monster from your hand to your extra deck face up, and if you do, add 1 face up pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand with an odd pendulum scale if the first monster had an even pendulum scale, or vice versa. Definitely very well, common, or should I say expected of a Do-Re-Mi chord card, but with that being said, it is just a great way to, how should I say here, organize your resources as you're playing along. Second effect, when you pendulum summon a Do-Re-Mi chord monster, you can target one of them, add 1 Do-Re-Mi chord pendulum monster with a level equal to the targeted monster's pendulum scale from your deck to your hand. Not particularly the most amazing, just allows you to regather your resources, which is nice, but overall it is something I would expect Do-Re-Mi chords to actually have another card to actually just extend on gathering all the resources you need to make your big plays. However, that's pretty much it for today's video. I will be talking about a few new cards as well in the next ReaperCast episode, but for now, this was definitely very exciting to actually get me a bit more interested towards Dawn of Majesty after seeing the Despia archetype, which I don't want to say it's a disappointment, but it kind of does feel that way. to a certain degree. So with the Chronomolies, definitely something I was quite happy about, and the new Pendulum cards as well, plus the Do-Re-Mi chord, Link Monster is definitely quite amazing. So let me know your thoughts on what you think about these. What rarities do you actually think these will be printed in? Does this actually make you a bit more excited about Dawn of Majesty? However, with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, definitely drop a like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell notification. In the meantime, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I'll see you all next time.